I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Welcome to episode 2 of Total Apex Media Limitless Range NBA podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Ellis. I got the same two fellows with me as I had last week. I got Jacob Perrine, my co-host, and Shane Foley. He might as well be another co-host too at this point. I don't know. What's up, fellas?
What's good? Let's get it. There's a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, super excited, super pumped.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the award winners thus far. We might actually get breaking news on Rookie of the Year during the recording. So that is getting announced this evening. So we'll definitely break that here on the pod. But let's talk about this. The two that we really did, the three that we didn't cover last week, as we covered Wembanyama winning Defensive Player of the Year, but we didn't cover Clutch Player of the Year, which was Shea that was announced on Tuesday. SGA won Clutch Player of the Year. Wednesday was Keldon Johnson winning Sixth Man of the Year, and Nikhil Alexander Walker winning Most Improved Player of the Year. So the cousins, SGA and Nah, won awards this week.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Jacob, I'll start with you. Talk about the Keldon Johnson real quick. Talk about Sixth Man.
Well, it's not too surprising because we talked before the show. He won by a pretty substantial margin. Like he was the favorite by a mile. So there wasn't any question like somebody could swoop in and take that award. I think there are a few things that are surprising. So when they were talking about the award, they specifically, like when Keldon won, they specifically talked about, he set the Spurs franchise record for most points off the bench in a season. And I was a little surprised by that stat because, the Spurs have been known for, decades, if not, before the Duncan era, having great, bench guys. And, even during the Duncan era, you had Manu coming off the bench. I was surprised that Keldon set that record. I'm surprised it wasn't like that Manu, like it was only like a little bit. It was like 1,081 points. So I'm surprised like it wasn't like more. So I was surprised he broke that record. I did not know that previously. So that was a pretty cool little thing I saw.
Yeah, I love that. That's that when you gave it to us, I was like, dang, that is an insane thing to think about when you think about Manu. They had Manu on that team. They had who else they had on a couple
of knows. They've had great bench
They
support.
had great bench production.
Yeah.
So to think about Keldon Johnson doing that is crazy. I'm going to break down before I give it to Shane. I'm going to break down Most Improved. Because it's interesting how they voted for Nah in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So Nah got 66 first place votes. Durant got 23, and Denny, who I would have thought would have won the award, only 7.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I'm guessing they were recency bias in that because of the second half that Nah had. That's why it was 66. But if it was all season, I would rather have it be Duran or Denny. And we were talking about Ryan Rollins last week too. He got 3 first place votes, but he finished 5th behind Namus Keita, who had no first place. He had none.
Yeah.
he
That's interesting.
Finished 4th. Yeah. Go
all right.
Keita, who the Boston Celtics. He had a great season. I'm not disrespecting Keita at all, but I would have thought Rollins would have been 4th.
It's just interesting how the voting played out for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That was spread out.
Shane, go ahead. Talk about whatever you want to talk about with the awards so far.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'll say that. It's funny you mentioned recency bias. I feel like could be whoever votes these things. I feel like they're really overvaluing team success, because that's the only way that thing splits for me is that like Denny Avdija played unbelievably compared to his last season. However, he's on the 7th seed and Durant is on 1, and the winner Hawks had an up and down season, but second half great on fire in the playoffs, another title for Knicks. So that's the only way you could explain Keita. I mean, Keita had some great games. Like, he's not a bad player, but he's also on a second seed that might make it all the way. That was an interesting. I was gonna ask, do you know that some of these awards, did they strictly say it has to be 3 nominees for each category?
So basically what it was, they voted for everybody, and how it's breaking down is the 3 finalists get named, right? But we won't know.
Okay, yeah.
So they voted for, so that's how Rollins got 3 first place votes. Right?
That's how,
There were 3 people that decided to vote for Rollins for the award. Out of the press and whoever has a vote. In that way. And I think the 3 finalists are the guys that have the most points. Points.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Most of the voting share.
Yeah, out of first, second, and third.
Yeah, I think that's interesting in terms of specifically the 6-man award, because I think Kelvin Johnson deserves to win it, but in terms of who was named, you had Jaime Vasquez and someone also I can't think of, but I felt like there were others.
Jaquez, and it was Tim Hardaway Jr. Who was the Denver.
Well, Tim Hardaway Jr. Actually, Tim Hardaway Jr. deserves to be in there, but like I'm surprised there wasn't no Benedict Mathurin and another guy who we're probably going to talk about later in the show is Aso Dosunmu, who newsflash America, he's good at playing the game of basketball. So maybe that's recency bias on my part. It's probably recency bias on my part because of what he did against Denver in the playoffs. But and if I thought about it, I could probably think of other people. I understand Pritchard doesn't qualify because he started too many games. But like, if he hadn't, I would also be on the he doesn't have to win it again. But I was like, he should be nominated because he's been balling out this year. But the rest of the awards, I think I understand.
Here's the voting results for 6-man. So the 3 finalists were Keldon, Jaime Jaquez, and Tim Hardaway Jr. You want to know the weird thing about first place votes again? Nasri got 1, Isaiah Stewart got 1, Mitchell Robinson got 1.
Okay.
Those were the 3 other first place votes other than Johnson or Jaquez. Hardaway got no first place votes, 7 second place votes, and 24 third place votes. So that's how he edged out Nas in the final. It probably would have been Nas Reed if he didn't have the 7 second place votes that he had.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
To breaking it down that way, Keldon actually kind of ran away with it. He ended up with 404. Jaquez ended up with 331. And then Hardaway had 45 and Reed had 42. So it was like after the first 2 guys, not a lot of other people had any point voting. Metrics of there. So
for the most improved player, we talk about I like how what Shane was talking about, we talk about like for these awards, it's like mostly guys that are on the best teams and things like that. But I think for awards, specifically the most improved player award, it's more so like what kind of statistical improvements have you made as a player? And, you look at somebody like Nah who came in because for me, we were talking about it last week. I thought it was going to be Denny just because of the point increase. And I hadn't really looked at Nah's stats the entire season. I knew he had been playing well. I just didn't know the stats he had. And then I looked up, he increased his point totals from 9 points per game from last season to 20. So he increased it by 11. And I was like, okay. And then when I saw he won, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense now why he won.
Yeah. Here's the interesting part while we're waiting for the rookie of the year. It's going to be interesting how the voting. It's definitely going to be like Cooper Flag and Con Kneppel having most of the voting points, like Six Man was. How many votes and how many points does VJ Edgecombe get to edge out Dylan Harper? Because it could have been between them two for the third spot. I think it's the right three finalists for Rookie of the Year when you looked at it.
Well, don't they usually announce the finalists even though they've already voted on it? Like they announce because like you know who the three finalists are because they're most people that voted on it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what they did for it.
It was interesting to see that. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic. Here we go. I got the Rookie of the Year.
Who is it?
It is the guy that went to Duke.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. It is the Dallas Maverick Duke Blue Devil. Cooper
Flag. Okay.
Shams just broke it. So Cooper Flag just won the Rookie.
Again,
have they released the voting for that?
No disrespect to all the Knuble fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shane. Go.
Yeah, no, I was just saying I'm raising my fist because I thought Flag should have won it, but no disrespect to the Knuble fans. I'm sure when the voting comes out, he's gonna have like a ton of votes. So but
I'm sure the margin.
I thought,
Yeah, I think it's going to be razor thin. I know me and Jacob, but we're in the camp of,
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. And I think you did lean Con if you had to do it, Jacob.
Yeah, a little bit. Just because of the consistency throughout the season. Flag had a little bit of a rough start. But hey, look, he had a legendary, middle to last part of the season. So
So it ended up being Cooper Flag. I am waiting on the NBA Communications tweet of the voting.
Okay.
They just tweeted out of the Cooper Flag winning the award on the NBA Communications. Shams broke it first. So I got the notifications from Shams, and then I'm just got
it. Should be. I think it should be at least 20 minutes after the award being announced. They'll put out.
They'll reveal it. So we'll break that down later in the pod.
Yeah.
That I love doing it on Monday as we get the Rookie of the Year. This is a perfect start to the NBA Limitless Range pod. Breaking news on the podcast. Love it.
That's what we do here at Total Apex in general, man. We're always breaking news.
Breaking the news, man. So let's get into the Jacob's topic that he wanted to get into last week. These streaming services, you have to have Peacock now. You have to have Prime, along with ESPN, along with, like how NBC. I like how NBC is doing it with the having it on NBC. Well,
they half on for NBC. I saw they were half on, half off for Peacock, and then they would just put it on regular TV. So you had the options for both if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So they would put it on both.
But now it's just weird with Prime because the fact that Prime had all the play-in tournament, the whole play-in tournament was exclusively on Prime. So you had to go to Prime for all of that. Then they also had the first day of the playoffs too. The whole first day, the whole Saturday, all on Prime. Wasn't on ESPN, wasn't on.
Yeah.
Granted, Prime's play-by-play, like the Prime's analysts and all that stuff they got on there. They got Dirk. They got UD. They got Steve.
Yeah, the pre- and post-game stuff I really
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
They got the Prime team is really good with Taylor hosting it. Doing the host stuff, and I also like the crew of Harlan, Parker, and Wade because I liked Wade on the NBC broadcast with Ian Eagle or Noah Eagle, one of the Eagles. It was fun. Listen to D Wade color commentate, so I'm glad D Wade is on the Prime color commentating in it because they had a viral reaction of one of the games the other day. So, like the broadcast team for Prime is on point, but just the fact that you have to go on, like you have to either have Amazon Prime subs, sign in on your phone or take it off your TV and all that.
Well, that's why, when we were discussing this topic, and I wanted to talk about it last week, and it was such a big firestorm online about it. It was because it's mostly like you kind of like NBC kind of did the good thing where they were just like, hey, we'll give you two options. If you want to watch it on Peacock, go right ahead, but you can also watch it on regular TV. For other ones like Prime and them, they don't give you the option.
Because
So
Prime
it's
is not
you have to have all these different streaming services because if you want to watch that, it's on this one. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
And the thing about it that upsets me the most is I understand the NBA buys all these media companies and broadcast rights for everybody. So they're just like, oh, we want to get our money's worth out of it. But at the same time, it's just they don't. It doesn't seem like there's much of a plan scheduling wise for everything. It feels like, okay, game 1 of the Cavs Raptors game, it's going to be on Prime. And then, game 2 is going to be on ESPN. It's just like, but can you pick which one it goes on first? Like maybe like if you want, you could put like an entire series on Prime. Like you could put the Cavs Raptors on Prime if you want the entire series. That's fine. And then other series you could just put on ESPN. Like I just don't understand the need to like shuffle it every single time. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's one of those interesting things ever since like we've gone to the cable cutting aspect to sports watching, because now with it started with the NFL and what they did with Prime having Thursday Night Football exclusively on Prime Thursday Night Football. After the opening kickoff on NBC each year, every other Thursday night games on Prime. Then they started with the Netflix Christmas Day stuff. Like really? Yeah. And then now, before that, they went to YouTube for the Sunday ticket package. Yeah. The DirecTV used to have was like which I felt like with that's more accessible having it on YouTube than on DirecTV, because DirecTV service is not that great.
Well, it's very regionally locked from what I saw. So that's the only thing. You don't have much of a choice to watch who you want to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that too. So it started with the NFL and all these others followed suit. I think the NHL is the only one really that doesn't really have, like, it's still the traditional with.
It's like TBS and others and like that. It's just it's just right on cable. So most of the time.
Yeah. So. Most of the time, ESPN does have the ESPN Plus nights and stuff like that for NHL during the regular season, but the playoffs, it's like you're watching it.
It's on all the same channels. So
I mean, Shane, what are your thoughts on this cable cutting aspects of everything?
Yeah, I agree. I like what Jacob said about like just having one like follow a series, because that way I don't like punishing a consumer if they don't have the money or the inclination to buy every streaming service available to watch the playoffs. So like if I live in Denver and I can't afford everything, but I can afford one thing, I would love to just know, like, okay, the Peacock is going to cover the Nuggets series. Then I know, okay, I just spend the 15 minutes, $15, bucks on Peacock. I can at least watch the Nuggets, and then maybe I'll watch another game if it's on ESPN. And the other thing too is like, I hate to play devil's advocate because I agree with you. It's a lot of streaming, but also like streamlining the process, I think, is the way to go, because if you said there's too much and we have to just have, one or two places that you can watch the playoffs, I feel like you're stuck in a rock and a hard place, because that means one streaming service is going to have to give up money. Well,
that's why I suggested the one series to, say like Prime can cover the Cavs Raptors and the Denver Nuggets Timberwolves series. Like you can put both of those on Prime for the entire series. So that way it cuts, you still get coverage and you're still, you're not really like making, you're streamlining the process, like you said.
Series to cover. Yeah. I like that because here's why I like that idea from Jacob as well, because ESPN and ABC already has the finals already.
Yeah, exactly.
But like that is one that they're the only ones broadcasting the finals is ESPN ABC, which I'm looking forward to with them having inside the NBA now and having the pregame being Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck, on the pregame of the NBA finals like they were for the Eastern Conference Finals. Because last year everyone went to the Eastern Conference Finals a lot of the time and didn't really watch the ESPN the Western Conference Finals because of the pregame. And
now they can pregame for both and postgame for both. So
I
like that,
which is going to be fun. But Jacob's idea for like the first round, second round is perfect too, because I think how it breaks down, I think NBC will get one of the conference finals. I think NBC is the second.
Okay, yeah,
like TNT was. And I think Prime is, done after the semis. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think
they're done after the semis because we still have a lot of series to cover. So
I would imagine NBC is like getting the conference finals. Now, what could happen too? We might not have. I mean, it might get to a point where like how the NHL has their deal with TNT and Turner airing the Stanley Cup final one year and ESPN airing it the next year. Get to that point with the NBA. Still, they want to get back to broadcasting NBA finals, and they have the talent to do it. I feel like because it'd be fun to hear, Reggie Miller, Mike Tirico on a call of the NBA finals. It'll be so much fun.
Well, I just miss the old crew with Harlan, Jackson, and Van Gundy. I miss them so much.
It's so split. They split them up too, which sucked with this. That's also what sucked about all three of these companies. Getting the stuff. ESPN kept their talent and got inside the NBA, right? So that was good for ESPN. What sucked was Miller went to NBC. You lost Kevin. You couldn't get Kevin because they had Noah Eagle and Tirico as their two lead-by-plays.
Oh yeah, Tirico,
as the two play-by-plays. So you couldn't get Kevin Harlan. What happened was Kevin Harlan went to Prime, and I was like, oh crap. And then also the weird part about it was Ali Flores, who was great on Turner for the NBA, doesn't have a sideline gig anymore because she's stuck on her Turner contract. Yeah, she has not been covering NBA all season long.
Yeah,
crazy, which is insane to think about.
And to throw another cog in the wheel, you were talking about how like Prime has like a really good like squad with like Dirk, Nash, and UD.
Yeah.
Well, on top of that, Peacock has Melo, Tracy McGrady, and Vince Carter.
Yeah.
So not only is that like a lot of people to follow, and then also a lot of salaries to be paid, which goes back to why Jacob has a good idea about just streamlining it to they each cover a series, because if you cut one of them out, they're going to be like, well, and I'm just sure like people are going to, I like listening to Melo, or I like listening to
also because these pre and post game stuff, they cover 2 games per day. Like ESPN does that sometimes for the playoffs where they'll cover 2 games. So it's Shaq, Ernie, and all of them are in the studio for 2 games doing pre and post game stuff.
Okay. All right. I got the breakdown, the rookie of the year voting.
Okay.
I got the full breakdown. So here's how it broke down. Cooper Flagg had 56 first place votes. Con Knipple had 44. No one else had any first place votes. Okay, no one else. Here's how it shook up. Edgecombe had 1 second place vote. Knipple had 55 second place votes. Cooper Flagg had 44. So basically the 44 that voted for Knipple had Flagg in second.
Yeah.
And then the one person that voted for Flagg in first had one of the people that voted Flagg for first voted for Edgecombe. for VJ.
Mhm.
93 third place votes for VJ got Edgecombe. So that's basically how VJ got in the. No one else. Harper
No,
only
he
got
wasn't.
5. Harper got 5, and Cedric Coward got
Mhm.
1 third place vote.
Yeah.
So no one, hardly other, and
So
no
pretty
one.
much the fair share of the first and second, every single one of them was either Flag or Knuckle. About what I
Check
thought.
the IP address of who voted Cedric Coward. They are definitely from Memphis.
Definitely in
For third
Memphis,
place. Yeah, from
That's
the
crazy.
Memphis area. No, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Kneppel did have 1 third place vote. So who, like I said, I think the ballot was given when VJ got a 2nd place vote. That person voted for Kneppel in 3rd.
Yeah.
And his or her ballot. Then you had, so it is an interesting, when I just looked at it just now, it just popped up 5 minutes ago. And I was like, okay, when you look at it, I'm like, okay, it's obvious that Flag was going to win. He had no 3rd place votes. So he basically took all his votes were 1st and 2nd place. So you knew Flag was winning it. Like when you look at it, it's like, okay, yeah, Flag's winning the award, like obviously won the award. But it ended up being 412 to 386.
Yeah, that's close.
That's close. That's
Yeah.
close based on how the voting points.
Yeah, that's within the margin of error. And like if 3 went towards like say 4 first place votes went towards back towards Con, like they took 4 from Flag, that total probably shifts to like 404 to like 390. So that's what I think for the voting share on that. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it might be, or even more, 386. And he did that for first place from, and then Flag got 2nd.
It that margin shrinks even further, man.
It shrinks further, further. But it's interesting that just came out, and we're looking at it, and I'm like, okay, somebody was it's either a guy that's more closest to Sixers coverage that wanted to show VJ some love, or somebody that just didn't think, wasn't thinking about that.
Well, voting for stuff like that, especially when it comes to like MVP or like Rookie of the Year, usually the voting stuff, like usually you'll see like guys that finish a distance 3rd or 4th, but they'll get like 1 or 2 more votes, and you're just like, oh, you kind of guess they're probably a media coverage guy for the the team that that player's playing on.
Yeah. But the weird thing was he didn't get a first place vote. It was 2nd place vote specifically.
That kind of reminds me. That kind of reminds me of the MVP race for 2000. Shaq almost won unanimous that year. He missed it by 1 vote. And it was a guy who literally voted for AI for that year. Yeah, and he was just like, I'm not giving it. He was like, I'm not going to give it to Shaq. He's like, okay. Yeah.
And then AI wins it the next year in 01. It's crazy. And then it's crazy that when you think about it, Shaq could have been unanimous.
Yeah.
In 2000, and we could have had the unanimous MVP in 2000 instead of waiting 16 years later until Steph gets it for 73 and 9.
Yeah, like he never really gave a reason for it. He was like, "I'll just give it to AI." He's like, "Why?" Well, nobody's
like AI.
You're like the only one who gave it to AI.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this actual basketball action. It's great that we had the regular season Rookie of the Year announced, and we can break that down. But let's get into this first round so far. The most impressive team to me is Orlando. Out of the 2 here, I think Orlando is like impressing me, and they're playing tonight at 8 on NBC. In Orlando again. In Game 4, Detroit should even the series, but the way that the Magic has gotten the Pistons off their game is impressive to say the least.
Yeah.
For sure. Like they've held Durant to 9 points a game on 41% shooting.
Yeah.
In the series. He's an all-star. The fact that the Magic have held an all-star to 9 points on 41% shooting in a playoff series? Yeah. It's crazy.
Compared to his regular season where he was averaging like 18 and almost 60% shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's insanity. So, I posed the question to you guys. more impressive between Minnesota and Orlando?
Shane, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make a hot take from Minnesota, but I don't think it's Orlando. It's impressive the way Minnesota is doing it, I think. However, given their history, a lot of people probably picked Minnesota to beat Denver going into the season or keep it close. I can't think of anyone who was saying that like Orlando was going to, take a game from Detroit, before the series started. And yeah, like a lot of people have been talking about like how Detroit has trouble in the half court offense minus Cade Cunningham. But I guess I didn't think that they were going to pay for that in round one. I would think that would be like a conference championship issue for them. But
like if they played Boston, you would understand why they would struggle.
Exactly. And also like I think so Orlando throughout the season has had good defense, just general in the paint. But I would not pick Paolo and Wendell Carter Jr. to be the two guys to hold Durant so low. I mean, he had 8 points the other night. It's just like, and he averaged. I know he averaged 19 throughout the season. Pistons can't. I mean, if they win tonight, I might turn around and say, well, Detroit's going to win the series. But I mean, they cannot win if they don't have another guy at least giving Cade 15. And Cade's having a phenomenal series. I think he's averaging 31 in the playoffs. So, so like they're figuring some stuff out defensively with Detroit. It looks like the formula is let Cade get his numbers and don't let anyone else shoot. It's been working so far. So I'd definitely say Orlando's the most impressive.
For me, it's hard to pick between the two. I would say Orlando has been impressive in terms of they're outplaying their seed by a whole lot. But also I think, when you look when we were previewing the series, I kind of said, Detroit would win maybe like in 6 games or something like that. And I do think Orlando would still give them a little bit of fit just because Suggs is a great defender. They have a great defensive lineup because Wendell is one of the most underrated big man defenders in the entire league. But for Minnesota, I think it's more impressive because Minnesota has a solid defense. We know that. But the way they're able to just hold down this Nuggets offense that has been just a monster all season, they're one of, like, you look at their numbers, one of the greatest offenses of all time. And the way they're just like, you watch these games with Denver, and they can't do anything on offense. No. They can't. They go like 3 or 4 minutes where they can't make a shot, and it's unbelievable. And I think it's so. But on the flip side of that, it's also impressive because the way Minnesota has attacked their defense as well. And it starts with Gobert. I think Gobert has been the biggest difference maker in this series. Not because of his defense. We know what he can do on defense. He's a 4-time defensive player of the year. But what he's able to do on offense, like he gets the ball, and he's being aggressive with Jokic. He's going at Jokic. He's, attacking hard off of a, pick and roll screen. He's just he's making himself available to his teammates for, lobs and things of that nature. And he's just attacking him. And that's really been the difference. And also the other difference has been the bench, which, when you have Ayo coming off the bench and Naz Reid, who are just, they give you 15, 20 points. Ayo will get you 43. Like he did the other night. So, and it's the difference in play from each other's bench, because Denver's bench has been, I would say it's been mismanaged over there for Denver, because Valanciunas barely played in game 4. And, Jokic had to play heavy minutes, and you're just like, why not change up the flow? And then Hardaway hasn't really played up to his standards off the bench. Brown, same thing. So it's been that all of those have been the catalyst for why Minnesota's up 3-1. And I think it's a little bit more impressive.
I do too. I can see that too. But here's my thing about Minnesota as a whole. the fact that we haven't talked, we're going to talk about this here right while we're on to Minnesota. The injuries to DiVincenzo and Edwards out the remainder of the series. DiVincenzo's out for the remainder of the season with a torn Achilles again. Another player in zero tearing his Achilles in the last is insanity. But the fact of the matter is, it was impressive for them, especially when they lost DiVincenzo in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and then you lose Edwards in the second quarter for multiple weeks with the bone bruise hyperextension. Thank goodness it wasn't a torn ACL. Like thank the Lord, because it could have been a torn ACL the way he landed on that play. It was impressive, and you just talked about Io DeSumo's 43-point explosion off the bench in that game. I was leaning Minnesota in 7 before the series because of the history between these two teams, and now knowing that. But now it's like it's tough because on one hand I want to give Denver the edge because of the starting backcourt for the Wolves gone, just like that, completely it's gone. And arguably the DiVincenzo was playing great. Edwards was kind of up and down because of his runner's knee on the other knee. But he was still playing good, solid enough to stabilize the Minnesota Timberwolves offense. But the other hand, if Io DeSumo keeps on playing the way he's playing, that Minnesota's definitely getting a game. I don't think they win tonight, but I think they're definitely going to get a game and end this series in 6.
Yeah, I think for this series, for the Denver series, it's obviously kind of shifted more towards Denver, even though they're down 3-1, because now Io has to come into the starting role. And does Minnesota really lose their scoring punch off the bench? Like, even though they still have Nas coming off the bench, it's you lose that other scoring combo. So that'll be interesting to see. And also Denver's got 2 of their 3 games. The next 2 of the 3 next games are in their house. So kind of just like, okay, maybe it goes back towards them, but even then, 3-1 is a hard thing to come back from.
Yeah, exactly, and they have to win the one in Minnesota, which is I think an underrated place to play. In Minnesota, especially in the playoffs. The atmosphere there in the Target Center is an interesting atmosphere. I know we all talk about the altitude of Denver and how it's tough on the body in general in basketball. And we talk about that, and it's like,
can we also talk about this for playoffs since we're on this topic? I was thinking in my head, when I look at this playoffs, it feels like home court advantage matters very little anymore. It really, like, you remember, you go back like 10 years ago when the Warriors dynasty was going, they never lost at home.
No.
And, the Spurs never lost at home, and now everybody loses at home, and it's kind of crazy that way.
The weird thing is the only one that hasn't lost at home yet is about to sweep Phoenix tonight. They're about to sweep Phoenix tonight, in my opinion. There's we essentially gave y'all a preview of tonight's action in this segment. Already intertwined. I think the Thunder are going to win against Phoenix. Get that sleep, get the rest, and get ready for LeBron, basically, because that's going to be a gentleman's suite tomorrow, in my honest opinion. We'll get into the most surprising teams here in a little bit. I will spoiler alert, the Lakers are my most surprising team of this situation at the moment. But so that's that game, Thunder Suns. I respect D-Book, but I just don't think it's going to happen with this Thunder team being dominant. But getting back to the Minnesota aspect, home court we were talking about, home court in general for me, it's not the same. And I guess these teams aren't. And it's weird because home court, like, they've been doing these like the San Antonio Spurs did the multicolored shirts, right, and Portland was able to get a game in San Antonio. Because of Wembanyama's concussion, but
I think that kind of dulled it down a little bit.
But
You know, I'm gonna blame it on the shirts. Nobody's wearing the shirts, so that's why we don't have this camaraderie in the stands where it feels like magic is in the air when you freaking are wearing the shirt. So I feel like that's part of it, but also just I don't know. It's a weird thing nowadays.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. Minnesota won both games in Minnesota, and then San Antonio. Well, Minnesota won both games in Minnesota. OKC won both games in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And then I think there was another team that won. Oh, Orlando has a chance to win both games in Orlando tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think. Well, there was somebody else that won both games.
I think Boston won both games in Boston. They lost their first one in Philly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
They lost the second game in Boston.
They lost the second game.
They lost game 2. Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And then Cleveland won their 2 games at home, and then Toronto won their 2 games at home.
Yeah, that's adding up.
Yeah. That series is home court playing true.
Yeah.
I don't think that's if we want to get into that series real quick, let's go ahead and go most surprising.
Yeah, most surprising, most disappointing. Yeah, let's do it.
We'll get into that series real quick. I think the most surprising or one of the most disappointing, I'll start with that, is Cleveland. To me, you dominate the 2 games in Cleveland, you come lackluster in Toronto, especially 8-second violation in the most recent game. You had an 8-second violation clutch with Donovan Mitchell bringing the ball up.
Yeah,
you have your best clutch player bringing the ball up so slow. You get an 8-second call in a high leverage clutch situation in the playoffs. Are we joking right now?
You know what's disappointing most about Cleveland, especially the last 2 games, is Game 3 wasn't competitive. They got blown out. Yep. And then Game 4, they're up 5 with 1:30 left, and they blow that lead. So you had a chance to go up 3-1, and you choke it away. And it's just and a lot of it comes down to Harden and Mitchell didn't do anything in Game 4 in the second half.
Yep.
Both of them combined to shoot 6 for 19 in the second half. That's not going to win you a playoff. And the fact they were still up 5 with 1:30 left and they were doing that, that's insane to me.
Yeah. So here's another thing. We'll get into more about the other people's. I want to split most surprising, most disappointing in one series in particular. Lakers Rockets.
Yeah.
Lakers Rockets. You could argue Houston is most disappointing. But you can argue how the Lakers are playing most surprising.
Yeah.
Shane, I'll let you start with that. That
is. See, the thing is, I agree with you, but then part of my brain goes back to when they played the Lakers and the Rockets back in the regular season. And I know he hasn't been playing. He missed a couple games with Durant, but it seemed like they found a formula to blitz Durant in the half court. He'll hold the ball, and then he'll go to someone else who just can't shoot. So, but see, I didn't expect them to go for the Rockets to go cold. I know they won the last game, but it seemed like the Lake but see, I just give a lot of credit to JJ Redick.
Yes, I do too.
Because how many people were talking about how bad the Lakers defense was in the halfway mark?
Yeah.
And now look at them. And
say it with me. Coaching matters. Coaching matters.
He is not counseling.
Coaching matters. Go ahead.
Yeah. So then all that aside, in terms of if you want to talk about cowboy up, and next man up mentality, LeBron is kicking out to 3-point shooters like Ryu Hachimura and Luke Kennard, and they're knocking them down. So I think that aspect of it is most surprising. And then most disappointing probably Houston Rockets shooting. And across the board, I knew they were going to do the thing with Durant where they double him, but I mean, Reed Shepherd, it took him a couple games for him to be like himself.
Yeah.
And like, I know he had a great, he had a great game in the overtime game, but then like before that, he was just cold. And I'm like, why aren't they trying to just like,
well, he was
drive
great for the entirety of game 3 almost up until the last few minutes and when they blew the lead.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Overtime
yeah.
too.
So. And also, you know what? I'm gonna call out someone in particular who I like, but I'm gonna call them up for something. Alperen Şengün.
Yes.
You are coming off of a good game, okay?
Yes.
But you have one move in the post.
Yes.
You grab the ball, you fake one way, and then you do a hook shot the other way. And if that doesn't work, and he gets a lot of points where like the ball is bouncing, like, and it could almost fall off. So it's not like you're swishing them, like you're not Kareem. So like, I feel like he needs, just in general, for the future of the Rockets organization, needs to add some stuff to his repertoire, maybe work on the jump shotting, but get a new move because like that, you know, I feel like he gets the ball in the post and now the Lakers just know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
another thing too.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying with that.
Yeah, another thing too that I want to get into with the Rockets specifically is something you brought up with Durant. The game 2, the one he played in LA, you're right, they totally blitzed him. But the weird thing about Durant's issues, his injury issues, it was a knee game 1. Then he comes back for game 2. The last 2 games is like with an ankle or a foot or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a mysterious thing. And then the fact that like they asked MA after the game 3 loss, you're just like, well, why wasn't Durant on the bench? And he's just like, oh, injury. I'm just like, he's got an ankle injury. He can be on the bench, guys. It's okay. And then the fact that he was on the bench for game 4 was just like somebody got in his ear and it's like, you know, it's a bad look if you're not on the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like it's turning into another situation where Durant's just like, yeah, I'm going to quit on the team. So it's that situation over again. And then before I start talking about my most surprising, most disappointing, I want to talk a little bit about the Rockets thing. And the thing about the Rockets losses is what was I going to say? It was something related to I don't know. I forgot. I lost my train of thought on that. So I'll circle back to it. Most disappointing team so far. I would have to say it's probably going to be Detroit, just because we all thought, the way, you're a first seed, you should be, playing better in terms of like, your half court should be figured out. Orlando shouldn't be that tough of a team. I understand they're an underrated team, but you should easily win this series in 5. But they're going to have to struggle. It might even go 7. So for that, I would say most disappointing. Most surprising, I would say Atlanta, just because in terms of the way they're winning these games in the clutch, especially the play of CJ McCollum. Now, the play of CJ is not the most surprising aspect. He's a 20 points per game playoff scorer. He's a vet. He knows how to get things done. It's more so what they're able to do on defense and disrupt everything for the Knicks. Because like the way they're able to shut down Brunson is pretty remarkable, because Brunson is probably one of the tougher covers just because of, the foul baiting stuff. And also he's just, a small guy who's quick and can get to, wherever he wants on the court. He has great ball handling skills. So the way they've been able to bottle him up has been impressive. And also on the other aspect, they could not be that surprising because this second half of the season, they have a top 5 defense. They have one of the best records in the league over that stretch. So it's so that aspect of it, I wouldn't say it's too surprising, but it's, I would still put it as surprising.
Here's the thing about Atlanta and New York, since you mentioned Atlanta in the most surprising category. I wouldn't say most surprising Hawks. I would say most disappointing Knicks. And here's why.
Okay. Yeah.
The play of I said it on the last show. Mikal Bridges has to play better. And they're thinking about benching Mikal Bridges for Miles McBride in the starting lineup right now. And having Josh Hart get like more minutes on guarding Jalen Johnson or on CJ. And that is the most disappointing aspect of the New York Knicks. is the fact that the Mikal Bridges trade is not working, and you have to have him come off the bench.
5 first-round picks. 5 first-round picks.
Yep.
And you have to have him
now here's the thing about that though too. Okay, blind ranking. You're coaching the Knicks. Who'd you rather have on the court, Miles McBride or Mikal Bridges?
Ooh. Right now, I'll have to say Miles McBride.
Yeah, just because Mikal's
okay. Who'd you rather have? Yeah, who'd you rather have, Mikal Bridges or Mitchell Robinson?
Mikal Bridges, just because he can actually, provide something.
Make a free throw.
Oh, okay,
we can make a free throw.
That's true. That's true. That kind of goes towards the water. Personally, for me, I'd rather have like Clarkson, Jose Alvarado, like So like, it's disappointing that your 5. This is what 5 first-round picks are worth. But I almost feel like the Knicks are going to play better because they'll give Bridges less minutes.
Yeah,
like it's almost like smart basketball.
The crazy thing is, it's not so much his offense. It's not so much Bridges' offense, because you brought him in and you thought, okay, you could put him and OG out there. They're great defensive tandem, and he hasn't been the same level of defender since he came to New York. So it's been kind of crazy to see that. Like his offense is not really grown, but his defense is just fallen off a cliff almost.
Yeah.
Well, his defense hasn't been better, and if you are going to shoot for 6 points in 2 games. And you're starting for the Knicks in the playoffs. Your defense better be like Dikembe Mutombo.
It better
so better be like prime Scottie Pippen or something, dude.
Prime Bruce Bowen.
Exactly.
Yeah, prime Bruce Bowen.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. So we'll see whether they can salvage the series, but like I feel like it's making a statement that the Knicks probably have a better guy to round out that small forward position than Bridges. They could salvage it for the series. Maybe they'll steal a couple games, beat the Hawks, and move on. And then it's going to be in the off season, because I don't think the Knicks are winning the chip, and people think it's chip or bust there. And so they're going to look back at the. I know. Some people think that like Jalen Brunson had some because he wanted Bridges, but the fact that they were willing to give up everything for him, like there'll be a reckoning for sure. Yeah.
Here's the thing too. So it's 2-2 in that series because the Knicks ended up salvaging after
the disastrous last 2 games. Cat was able to get a triple-double, so that probably helped a little bit too.
Yeah. So it's 2-2 night in the Garden, heavy pressure on the New York Knicks, because if the Atlanta Hawks go in there and win that game in the Garden, it's a wrap. I think they're not coming back to the Garden. I think if the Atlanta Hawks steal it, they're going to go home and
close it out.
They're going to close it out. So it's heavy pressure on the Knicks to win Game 5.
Well, I saw something online, rumors swirling around Mike Brown potentially getting fired this season. And I'm just like, it's crazy to me. And they're just like, even if he made the finals, he would still get fired. I'm just like, come on, if he makes the finals, let's stop on that.
No, that's what the Knicks wanted Mike Brown.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want him to get to the finals. Yeah. Like, even if they don't win a championship, they could at least hang their hat like, oh, we made the finals. So
exactly.
I wanted to circle back around to the Rockets series real quick, because I finally was able to
you got your idea.
And it was what Shane was talking about in terms of Redick and his coaching on defense. Yeah. But also, I think I brought this up last week. I'll just bring it up again. Is the fact that you take out Luka and you take out Reeves, 2 very bad defenders, and suddenly the defense gets better. So I feel like that also played a factor there. When you look at
the interesting part about, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
On that, they don't play the Wednesday night. They don't play Game 5 the Wednesday night. And Wednesday night there's some other game 5s. But the Raptors and Cavs and Lakers Rockets are on the essentially 2-3 day rest.
Yeah.
They could get Reeves back. Reeves was close to coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the crazy part about how the Lakers have been playing. Oh, but go ahead, get back to your JJ Redick.
Oh no, you're good. I kind of wanted to talk about like other playoff series since we're on this subject. Since I feel like even though we're talking about most disappointing, most surprising, I kind of want to talk about
hold on,
Jacob in general now.
Yeah,
Jay, real quick, not to interrupt you, but like since you brought the Rockets again, can I just make one point that I think we're all forgetting? Okay, everything you said, correct. Also, who remembers some comments on a burner phone? About a certain team not having dot. Okay, I bet you after Game 4, everyone in that Rockets locker room talked all the smack to KD, like everything, like let him have it.
Probably.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up. You're good.
Probably. Let's get. I'm going to get to another disappointing team. I know we kind of talked about Minnesota, Denver ad nauseum earlier with the Minnesota side, but Denver has got to be one of the most disappointing teams in general because of how Jokic is playing. And they've actually the 2-man game has been like the unstoppable 2-man game we all thought with Murray and Jokic. It has been neutralized in this series, which is crazy. And Jokic is only shooting like 15% from 3-point range. Yeah, which is crazy. It's not, and I just don't know I don't know if it's the injury from earlier this year that he kind of rushed back. And
I don't think it's an injury issue. I think it's just a schematic, and they're being overly physical with him. I mean, look at how Gobert, guards him on defense. He's picking him up, like how they do the high post stuff. He's literally like trying to deny it the entire time. He's playing hard to deny it, and he's making it tough for him. And for Denver, here's the thing about Denver. I don't think David Adelman was the answer to their coaching problem, because I know you got rid of Malone and you brought in Adelman. You were able to get, take OKC to 7 games last year and get to the second round. I understand all that. But at the same time, what I've seen so far in these playoffs is he doesn't know how to utilize a bench. He doesn't like Malone. You gave him a bench. He knows how to utilize it. He knows how to, match up lineups, pull out, really good lineups that, mesh well with one another.
Kind of like father, like son in this situation. Rick Adelman did not.
Yeah, Rick didn't really. Yeah, Rick struggled with it too. But the difference is Rick had a lot of really, really good players everywhere. Yeah. I just don't. For Denver, it's just disappointing where their offense has gotten. It's like you have this, all-time great offense for the regular season, and then you come into the playoffs. And I understand Minnesota is not a bad defensive team. They're a top 10 defense. But the way they're playing right now and shutting them down, you're just like, wow. Like you would think they were playing OKC the way that they're getting shut down right now.
Exactly. Speaking of, I guess let's get into some of these other series a little bit. I guess we'll start with OKC real quick. I know we kind of previewed it like earlier when we said the OKC is going to get the sweep. I think all three of these OKC Phoenix games have been double-digit OKC victories. Yeah, if I'm correct on that.
They have been. Well, and they've been just uncompetitive, and it's just we kind of knew this going in because for Phoenix they just don't have the size and they don't have the firepower because OKC can just throw a billion guards to defend D-Book, and that's why he's been struggling in the series. You can throw so many players at him. Meanwhile, Phoenix can't do the same thing to, SGA, and he's the only guard that's out there right now because J-Dub got hurt. So, that series is a wrap.
That's a wrap tonight. Let's get into my favorite series so far. Spurs Blazers. Yeah. This series, even though San Antonio is up 2-1, actually 3-1, sorry. Yeah, 3-1. They're up 3-1. They're up 3-1. It is interesting the Blazers are getting out to these first half leads at both of the home games, and Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle have an electric second half in Game 3. And
Game 3 was probably the most surprising one because they were down 15. You're just like, well, Wemby's not out there, so you understand if they lose this game. Yeah. But the way Harper played, man, it's. Yeah, you almost forget he was the second pick in the draft just because he's playing on such a loaded team. So he still gets a decent amount of playing time, but nobody really talks about it.
Right. Yeah.
But in the way and then Castle, look, that dude is going to be a superstar.
Yes,
that dude is going to be a freaking superstar.
Yeah,
like the way he defends and the way he's able to get into the flow on offense so easily, it's just incredible.
You know, on my fantasy basketball championship this year, you know which duo I had?
Who?
Wimby and Stephon Castle.
Great stack.
Yeah.
Great stack.
Yeah.
I don't know why whoever's in your fantasy league, I wouldn't have let you draft those two guys together. I would have vetoed that.
I'm not going to get lucky twice and have. No, I've been in this league for 3 years, and I was like, I had the 4th pick this year, and I was like, halfway through, I'm like, okay, Luka's going to beat me, and I was down to I was at the beginning of the fantasy championship. It was when Luka was getting hot. I was like, or before the fantasy championship, it was when Luka was really, really hot. And this guy, we were dumb and let this guy that had Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves get Jason Tatum out of the waivers. That's how I was. We were that dumb. But I got lucky with the Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic injuries. But anyway, that tangent aside, but that duo is going to be, like you said, Jacob, Wimby and Stephon Castle.
Castle's going to be a superstar, man. That dude is so freaking good.
Duo for years to come. What other series have we not? Oh, we talked about Cavs Raptors a little bit. We talked about Houston Lakers. We talked about Knicks Hawks. I'm trying to think.
Sixers, maybe Celtics one. I think it's probably the only one we didn't really get.
Shane's Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Rub it in.
You started us off.
Okay. All right. What is there to say? I mean, 76ers fan. No, I was gonna say a joke, but Brandon, actually, wait, is the 76ers your team?
No.
No,
basketball?
No.
They're not?
No.
Okay,
no.
I'll say what I was going to say, which is I don't exactly know how you feel, 76ers fans, but I remember when Ned Stark got his head chopped off in Game of Thrones, and I'm sure that's a bit of what you're going through.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, but it's just like I mean, it's hard because you're saying is like trust the process, and the process keeps getting injured. I actually do kind of like joking aside, like I feel bad because they can't keep Embiid like healthy. But I don't. But I'm not sad because you said we want Boston, and now we're here. So
against Orlando in the play-in, they chanted that. The Sixers fans did. That is so crazy.
It's crazy.
In game 1 where we won, they were chanting at the TD Bank North, "We want Boston. We want Boston."
For
it.
Yeah, they were trolling them right now.
But that's probably what cost y'all game 2 was the "We want Boston" troll.
Yeah. And then they kind of
came. It was definitely a trap game. Definitely a trap game. I will say that I am impressed with Tyrese Maxey's play. Boston's one of the better defensive teams in the league, and he still is able to find his shot. He seems unguardable at times, where and like he's really good at picking when to shoot and when to drive. He'll drive and then he'll come off a pick the next series, and then the defender will overcompensate for the drive, and then he'll shoot. So
the thing I really like about the Sixers, even though sorry to interrupt you, the thing I like most about the Sixers is talking about Maxey. I like the backcourt of him and VJ, man. I think it's a great backcourt so far.
VJ's game 2 was amazing. Like that's the reason.
And the thing is, they have such different play styles, but they play off of each other so well. And I just, for the Sixers, and just the series in general, it was kind of just like you knew Boston was kind of going to take control of it, even though it shifted to Philly, and Philly's pretty decent at home. But I don't know. This series has been kind of like, it's kind of been it's just been the Jason Tatum series. It's just like, I'm back. This is what we're going to do. We're going to win the East. It's happening.
when you look at Game 4, the game that Embiid came back, right?
Yeah.
You know who took the most shots on the Sixers?
Embiid.
Yeah.
Was it Embiid?
You know who took the second most shots?
Was
Maxey.
it Paul George?
No, it's
Paul
Maxey.
George?
Oh.
George took 13. Maxey took 14.
Okay.
But the fact that George got 13 shots and BJ only got 9.
Yeah.
And BJ Edgecombe only got 9 shots in his game is mind-boggling after he was practically the reason y'all won the game in this series. Yeah. It is so mind-boggling when they get Embiid back. They play the trio of George, Embiid, and Maxey and try to play through them. And it's not working.
Yeah, like they had been before, but they're just like,
didn't work. On top of that, George was getting like covered by like Tatum and Brown and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not saying that bad.
Yeah.
George was efficient, 6 of 13, 3 for 3 for 3. He was efficient, and I'm not mad. And Edgecombe got 9. He was 2 for 9. He wasn't the most efficient, so I guess that's why.
Maybe that's why it kind of played out that way. But it's still weird how they were like, especially Sixers fans are just like, we're gonna get him be bad, but he just focuses on rebounding and defense. I'm just like, he ain't gonna do that. He's gonna come back and he's gonna shoot. That's what he does. He's a scorer.
9 for 21 for Embiid. 9 for 21. 1 for 6 from 3. 1 for 6.
He's gonna come in and shoot. This is who he is.
So the one he made,
if I was a Philly fan, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. Well, what about the one he made?
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say the one he made, like whoever was, I think Keita or whoever was defending him, like he practically laid down, like he was like, waiting at like the free throw line, and he's like at the And so the thing about Paul George, it's he didn't have like a horrible game efficiency wise. What I don't like is that he's getting guarded by Tatum, and he thinks that he can like ISO just make the shot over him. Please, just like take a pick, do something, try to drive the lane. You're not just going to shoot over Tatum and Jaylen Brown and be successful. Well,
here's the thing about Game 3, okay, as well. Mm-hmm. The efficiency point I just made gets debunked quickly looking at it. So Maxey took the most shots at 31. Yeah. He was 12 for 31 on the floor. 5 for 13. So that was not good efficiency, 31. That was not an efficient 31 for Maxey.
No.
Edgecombe took the second most shots on the Sixers. He was 5 for 17. 0 for 7 from three-point range. So after the great Game 2 in Boston, your first home playoff game, you come out and shoot 5 for 17 at home. At home, where the role players play better at home. And so that was that debunks my Edgecombe should get more love after his Game 2. That was wrong.
I still think you should get love in general because he's had great.
You should get love in general because of how great he is.
Yeah.
But no, it's just I find that crazy. And the interesting part, George was 7 for, like George has been efficient in this series when you look at it.
Yeah, he's been really a pretty decent player this series.
Yeah, but 18 points. That's not going to – they need George to get 20 to 23.
Yeah.
They even have a shot because of Boston's depth. And it's not I don't think it's going to happen. I think they win tomorrow. I think they win tomorrow night to go in 5.
Yeah.
I think both games that are played tomorrow end. The series ends.
I agree.
The games tomorrow, like
and then there's a game tonight, the OKC game tonight.
That series ends tonight. The only one tomorrow that doesn't end is the Hawks next because it's 2-2. I think Spurs beat the Blazers in San Antonio. They make a statement win, go on to the second round. Then I think the Sixers win that one. Tonight, we already kind of gave our picks. To update right now, though, it is 12-5 Magic.
Okay.
To start with 9:15 left.
Already. All right.
So 12-5. So that would be that. We have Thunder Suns, which we already put them in the coffin. Suns, your season's done. Good season for Chris Mott as head
And
coach.
then the Denver Minnesota game 5 tonight. I don't think the series will end tonight. I don't think so.
I think Denver wins. I think Denver. I agree with you. I think Denver.
Yeah, I think they'll get a win. Yeah,
I think Denver gets
because the injuries are too big to overcome, especially for this game in Denver.
Yeah. Do we think Lakers get the gentleman's sweep Wednesday?
If Reeves plays, I would give it to him. I kind of think it's a bit of a toss-up, just a little bit, just because I think the Rockets are a little bit motivated right now to try and make this a series. But I do think I mean the Lakers will eventually win it, but I don't think it might take 6 games. I think it might take 1 extra game.
What do you think, Shane?
Yeah,
you think they get the gentleman's sweep?
I think they'll get the I think they'll get the gentleman's sweep based on the fact that like LeBron just did not have a great game last time, and
he'll just bounce back. Yeah.
I don't want to bet on LeBron having bad games back to back, and he's already proven exactly. He's already proven at 41 he can still it may not be like amazing performances, but he's going to give you like 25 and 10. So that's why I think he gets the gentleman's sweep. Yeah, and in terms of Reeves playing, I honestly would just he may not want this, but I would just say just sit, and if we need you for Game 7, we'll grab you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. What I was going to say was with that, my prediction is Lakers end it in 5 because the potential of Reeves coming back. He was questionable in both Game 3 and Game 4. And I think they get Reeves back. They might not get Luka back until the second round, but I think they get AR back, and LeBron gets the boost of AR.
Yeah.
In
all honesty, even though you say he'll be back, I don't think the Lakers will risk it because look, you're up 3-1. Might as well just keep him for the second round, give him a little bit of extra rest.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that point. I think if I were JJ and the medical staff, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
But if I'm LeBron James,
you want him back. Yeah,
I'm petitioning getting him back on the court. Getting one of them, the one that's closer, back on the floor for about 15, 20 minutes and be like, okay, let him operate for those 15 and 20 minutes, and I can get you the rest of the way.
Yeah. Before we reach the end of the pod, I want to talk about one more thing real quick because it kind of came up in my mind. Yeah. I was thinking before the show, I'm just like, man, y'all's picks for the NBA Finals and the NBA Championship is looking pretty good, whereas mine looks like dog water. So because you picked Spurs, Brandon. Yeah. Shane, you picked Celtics winning it, but you also who did you pick coming out of the West?
Yeah. OKC.
I picked
Okay, yeah. And then for me, I was like, oh yeah, I'll pick Denver to win the championship. So that one's looking really nice right now. I was thinking about that. So.
Well, that's the only bad thing. That's why I said that was one of the reasons I said Denver's disappointing. And you should probably said Denver's disappointing, to be honest, because they were your pick.
I'll leave some crow on that for sure.
They're definitely playing below what they were expected to be.
What they should be,
100%. And I have a friend, and that's who I'm in the fantasy league with. He's from the guys I'm playing with are from North Carolina. They went to NC State, but I got in because I'm friends with this guy through one of my actual close friends from middle school, high school, all that stuff. Did a racing league on NASCAR, on the video games, and they were this guy that I got in the league with was his crew chief on those in that racing league. So I met him. He's a good guy, and he's a Hornets Denver Nuggets fan. Technically, Denver's his Western Conference team, and then Charlotte is his main team.
Interesting.
So every time I talk with him, I've been talking with him the last couple of days. Yeah, he's like, I know Denver's been disappointing. I'm like, D, man, I hope Denver turns it around, man, but I just don't think it's going to happen, bro. I just don't think it's going to happen. And here's the funny thing: he hates Minnesota, but he loves. He still loves Ant, but he hates Minnesota. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that because he had Ant on his team this year in fantasy basketball.
Okay.
Shout out, Dylan. Shout out to you, Dylan. I know you probably won't watch this, but shout out to you. I want to shout you out. You're a good buddy, and you'll take it in stride. I know you will. But yeah, no, Denver has been one of the most surprising and most disappointing in the same breath because I did not expect them to be. I think that I expected that series to be 2-2, just to be completely honest, heading to game 5. At worst. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, we have reached the end of the show, like Jacob studiously said earlier. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe to Totally Picks Media on YouTube for more podcasts in general like this one. We have the all-around show tomorrow on with entertainment, sports, and all the lifestyles and all that stuff. We should have that show back. I should be back on that show tomorrow, so it should be fun. I've been off the last couple of weeks from that show, trying to make sure these other podcasts go well. But I'll be back for some fun on that show tomorrow. We got the wrestling podcast on Thursday. Got the main sports pod on Friday. We need to bump that views on that one a little bit. So go watch our NFL draft if you haven't, our NFL draft coverage from Saturday if you haven't yet. That was a really fun show. Our really fun show there as well. And then we got the Off the Wall Baseball podcast on Sundays with me and Chris. So that's another fun show that we do here. So those are all the shows that I needed to shout out. Also wanted to shout out the site overall. Justin Rimpey, our sports site expert, has the Cooper flag. Should have the new Cooper flag. I think he was working on it when it broke. Should have it already on the site. So for more of what we broke down, you can read it in Justin's article on the Cooper flag winning Rookie of the Year. Everything like that. I'll go ahead and shout out socials real quick. My ex is 30BL is on the screen. Instagram underscore BL32 on Instagram, and Ellis High Red Real on TikTok. Jacob, go ahead and shout your stuff out, man.
Yeah. My Instagram username is right here, JDPerrain24. I'm most active on there. You can also check out my Muck Rack online. That's where I post pretty much you can see all of my articles I've ever done on there, and of course articles to come on there as well. And yeah, I post all the time, and also check out our site. We also have our journalist profiles on there too, so like if you wanted to go on there and check out any kind of articles we've ever done, NBA, NFL, whatever, we have it all on there for our profiles. So yeah.
Good point. Shane, shout out your fantasy stuff, man, because that stuff's been, and you're probably going to be in depth with the football soon. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it feels like once like basketball's over, I'm back in the football mode, which is great for me. But yeah, so my my Instagram is at 2Shanes, the way it's spelled, you see there. Same with X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know why I keep saying that, but just like to be official. And I will say that like you can find my articles at Total Apex Sports, and I will be breaking down some DFS start sits going into the next week, and it's a good week. One of the last good weeks for DFS, because if you like having full slates, you're only going to get it for so long until it's going to be one game a night, and then you're going to have to do Showdown, which is a fun mode, but it's a bit of a different bribe than when you do it with the full slate with different games. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Those are going to be fun
real quick. Give us your picks for tonight. What would some of your DFS picks for tonight would be?
Oh, for tonight? Okay, so as I look at the slate, all season long, Ayo Dosunmu has been a DFS pick just because, I mean, when he comes off the bench, he gives you 15, and then obviously with Ant hurt, he probably will be priced out a little bit,
Yeah.
but considering the fact that he did 43, I would throw him out. So basically, like what I would do, like for DFS tonight, would be like get the Sunmu, probably honestly just like
real quick. Don't do any Magic since that game already started. Don't do any Magic.
Yeah.
No. Just the other two that haven't started.
Yeah, no. Ignore the game. So yeah, another player you definitely want is AJ Mitchell. He's starting ahead of Jay Will. If he gets hot from 3, he's great for you. And he'll get the assist here and there. So I would get those 2 guys as far as like value, and then in terms of a pay up, it's not a great. You know what? No, forget it. Just get SGA because I mean, last game was a blowout, and usually you don't want to get a player in a blowout because you don't need him. But like SGA, like walked into 46 points.
Yeah,
and like if you saw, I saw the interview post game, and I'm like, I'm sure he worked his butt off, but like he didn't look to me like he broke a sweat. It was just like, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's what I do
too. Like, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Happens. So yeah. So I would pay up for SGA. He'll get and then just basically focus on the Timberwolves Nuggets because it'll be a closer game than OKC moving on to second round.
Yeah.
So yeah. That general game plan right there.
So for next week, what we're gonna do, I know we get close. I know we're gonna end the show here. But next week, I think at the beginning of the show, Jacob, I think we should get Shane's DFS picks to start.
Oh yeah, put that in real quick. Yeah,
put that in at the start and do it that way, and then we can comment and have additional. I know
we can kind of just bounce off at that point. So yeah,
that would be an idea for me to start. Then we'll start.
Definitely.
Shane's picks to start.
Shane's picks. I like it.
Shane's picks.
That's Shane's picks to start. That's going to be our new segment. I was thinking on the fly here at Limitless Radio.
Good idea, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Hey, also just I was just gonna say real quick, like shout out to Brandon because he thinks of these ideas. Also, doing this podcast, doing Off the Wall podcast, on and off the wrestling, and then doing the sports on Friday.
Yeah, so juggling, like, and then he's doing another one tomorrow night. Which one? What was the other one you were doing tomorrow night?
That tomorrow night. With everybody. Normally Andrew handles all the sports stuff.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see if we're recording it. I mean, it's been up and down with Molly's schedule. Shout out Molly, who is does everything technical for the podcast and stuff like that. She's been working the community center job, so it's kind of been up and down, weird formatting and stuff like that. With Corey and Michelle. Hopefully. If I'm feeling up to it tomorrow, I will be on there and we'll have a little bit of a segment. I'll talk about some of the other sports like WNBA starting it up and stuff like that. So that's the plan. But anyway, thanks for the shout out, guys. But peace out.
Peace out. Have a great night.
Yep.
Take care.